Hello and welcome. I wanted to do a little bit of a carving and chat video today as I carve some ornaments for Christmas. This setup to film this video is a little bit weird for me because I'm filming here on my main camera and I'm using an iPad here. Hello. I don't have a dedicated B cam. I wanted to do something a little bit more chill as we go into the holiday season, and I thought it would be cool to just like hang out and carve. So that's what we're gonna do today. Full disclosure, I do have notes. So if you see me glancing, it's because I'm trying to read them. So yeah, we're gonna try to do this and we'll see how it goes. I'm trying to do this all in one take. This is gonna be quite the journey, I think, for me in editing to make it at least somewhat coherent. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was books. The book video is coming up soon. I haven't started recording it yet because I wanted to squeeze in one more book, okay? I am currently at, you ready for this? 19 books this year. And when I finish that third book, when I finish that last book, I'll be at 20. And I don't know if I'll ever get to that number again, ever in my life. So I'm here to savor the moment and I'm gonna try to hit that number of 20. I know I said in my previous video that I don't wanna have any like numerical goals, but when you're this close, you kinda have to. So I'm gonna go for it and I hope that I can get the video filmed really soon. I'm actually so excited to start filming that just because, you know, I think back in like 2015, 2016, when all the OG booktubers were posting stuff, and my OG booktubers are like A Clockwork Reader, Peruse Project, Poland Bananas Books, like that whole group. Like watching their videos years ago and then finally I get to make my own like all the books I read this year video. It just feels kind of cool. So yeah, I'm just really excited for that. First time ever in my life I've read double digits, let alone 20 books in a single year. So you bet your ass I'm gonna celebrate it. I'm still thinking about the overall like format of the video and how I want to categorize it. I'm gonna switch knives. This one is not cutting it. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'm still thinking about the overall format of that video. I don't know how I'm gonna kind of structure it. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of rank the books in a way. I don't really like to do numerical scores on books because I think it's sad, especially because, I don't know, books and writing or any form of art is sad to sum up with a numerical score. Like imagine looking at Starry Night by Van Gogh and being like, yeah, it's a pretty good painting. I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Like, are you crazy? Like somebody spent years of their life trying to hone this craft just so like random people on the internet could give it a number. I just think that's sad. So I think I'm gonna organize the video to be based off of, I don't know, if I liked the book, if I loved the book, if I just thought it was okay, probably something like that. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas as to how I should be organizing that video, let me know, but I'm thinking it's probably gonna end up being something close to that. We'll see. I'd say overall I'm excited to be doing more book content, you know, in general. I'm not gonna be, you know, a full-on booktuber anytime soon. I don't think that's something I'll be able to do just because I don't read enough. And I don't want to push myself just to be able to say that I am a booktuber. Like, I fully don't want to claim that. However, I am okay with kind of like trying to be the representation for us casual readers. I feel like when you look on BookTube, it's usually people who read so much. And I think it would be nice to find like one person who has some realistic numbers for how many books they read. You know what I mean? So that would be, I think, the part of the niche that I could fall under, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't really know what other type of like book videos I would want to make. I think that's something that I'm trying to explore. And speaking of exploration, I think my channel as of right now is kind of in that period of exploration, experimentation, if you've been on the channel for a while, I don't really know what I'm doing with it, to be honest. I've done these kind of cinematic, reflective pieces. They're kind of like short film-esque type things. They feel kind of video journal-y. And then I've kind of done these hobby videos and a little bit of book videos. I feel like my channel is kind of in a transitional period, a figure it out period. I don't think I've been taking advantage of what it is to be a smaller YouTuber, and how I can just kind of do whatever I want because I have no one to answer to, you know? I don't have like a manager or like whatever, you know? When you're small, you can do whatever you want, and I feel like I've been putting pressure on myself to be a certain way when I don't think I really have to be, you know? I hope I'm in frame for all of this. Also, I'm sorry I can't maintain eye contact when I, when I talk. I'm trying not to cut myself. I'm trying to carve this thing. I need to constantly be weighing a lot of stuff. I'm also trying to do this all in one take, so yeah, I don't know what this is going to be like in editing, but I think I want the vibe of this video to be something that you watch while eating, you know what I mean? Something you watch while you're doing something else. That's kind of the vibe I want to go for with this, I think. But yeah, my channel, I'm still figuring it out, honestly. I think the straight line through all of the content that I've made so far is like calm. Whatever it is that people say makes someone their comfort YouTuber, I would like to kind of hone in on whatever that means for me, like what type of videos I like to watch or what type of YouTubers I feel myself drawn to, and kind of make a style kind of similar to that, I think. I don't know, one of my YouTubers that I watch every once in a while is Emmy. She's like a booktuber, and her content is like very calm. She doesn't really do any kind of crazy edits. Well, most like booktubers don't, but she's like really chill. She has kind of like an ASMR vibe to her, and I really just like her content. I think it's really calming, and I just like her vibe in general. And I want to kind of emulate that in my own way, I guess, with my, you know, my weird B-roll cinematic stuff. But yeah, I just kind of want to explore around and see what happens. Also, this video exists because of comments that I've gotten from people. Some of you have left comments saying that you like the chatty vibe, or like you just kind of want more content from me. It doesn't really matter. I've gotten a comment saying to do more book stuff, so yeah, this video wouldn't exist without people giving me feedback. So if there's a certain je ne sais quoi that you like about certain stuff in the videos, or whatever topic I cover or whatever it is, let me know. I might be able to include it more in future stuff. Also, in terms of my content in general, I feel that YouTube is slowly getting taken over by AI slop, and every time I upload something, I feel like I'm fighting the good fight, you know what I mean? And it makes me want to make more videos that are more chatty anyway, or something a little bit more casual, because AI could never, okay? AI could never carve a piece of wood. It could never write down on a piece of paper in a legible way, okay? If you can read that, not AI. But like, I don't know, there's some channels that pop up and it's like, this is not a real person. And I don't know if the people are aware it's not real. Like a lot of these voiceover kind of like advice channels that are animated, they have like a little animated character. Like, I don't even know if those are real either. It's kind of hard to like trust faceless channels these days, I guess. I don't want to discredit anybody, but I don't know. There's a lot of content out there that's very obviously AI. And I just, I don't know. I think now more than ever, human content or art made from actual people is so important. And I don't know, man, like I just need to be a part of whatever it is that will combat that. I don't know if it's actually going to work or if it's actually going to do anything, but I hope that more people are driven to create because of AI. Another thing I wanted to briefly mention is I think that my anxiety is a lot worse than I think it is. I went to the dentist the other day and my dentist was like, "Do you use a night guard?" And I was like, no, why would I use a night guard? And they're like, yeah, I think you should start using one because you're grinding your teeth a lot. And they said that it's like either like a stress thing or it could be like an anxiety thing, and I need to like get molded for that. I don't know, I always thought that I was kind of like more in tune with myself and I know what's happening, but that caught me off guard like a lot. I feel that I've had some level of anxiety for a while, and I thought that I had at least some control over it, but to find out that I guess I've been grinding my teeth is crazy to me. I didn't think that would happen. I also told my therapist about it, and they were like, what the hell? So shout out to all the fellow anxious people out there. I carved another one of these a couple of days ago, and it didn't look as crappy as this one's looking. Oh, I think it's because I'm like filming at the same time, so I'm not really concentrating as much on how it looks, but I hope it looks snowman-like. What do you think? Focus. There you go. So yeah, there's the head here. That's his little tummy. And then arms behind the back, kind of. The last topic I wanted to talk about is the holidays in general. This year I want to be a little bit more present than I have been in previous years, because I had some family move away recently. Well, not recently, it's kind of been within the last like year or so. And so Christmas is a little bit smaller this year than it's been. I think throughout my life, Christmas has kind of gotten smaller and smaller since I was a kid. I don't know if that's just the rose-tinted lens of being a child, or if that's just like a reality of life. I'm gonna see less people this year, and it's kind of sad, I think. But at the same time, I think it makes me appreciate the family that I have now more than ever, you know? It kind of just makes me sad that there's gonna be less people to see, less people to celebrate with, less people to spend time with, but, you know, life goes on, I guess, and it still sucks. I did make notes, but I didn't think it would take me this long to carve the snowman, so literally my notes have run out. So let's see, what can I talk about? Okay, so one of the books I'm reading right now is How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie. The book is helpful. I think of all the self-help books I've read up until this point in my life, this one gives you a lot of like practical advice. I think a lot of self-help books kind of just say, oh, here's what's wrong with you, and that's kind of it. Sometimes they don't really give you like steps to take, and I think this book gives you steps to take. However, I think because the book was written in like the 40s, there are, how do I say this? Parts of it that I think are old-timey, I guess. There's parts in the book where they talk about people who like came back from one of the world wars, okay? And how like they've been so stricken with the anxiety and the worry of like being in the war and trying to fight for their life. And the book, in the way that it kind of like fixes them, is to just stay busy. There's no better cure than good day's work. And it's like, yeah, okay, it's good to stay busy, sure, but these people have been through some things in a world war. Like, I don't know if that's always gonna be the best advice to be giving them. There's also like some people who in the book have been dealing with grief, and the book's advice is just do something else. I don't know, like that book is there's some helpful things in there for sure, but it's also very dated in some of the things that it says. I'm not saying it's bad because of that. I just think the viewpoint of it is interesting to me. That being said, I read a chapter of it recently talking about trees and how there's some trees that can weather so many storms, but what really brings the tree down after all the storms that they face and all the like lightning strikes or whatever, it's the beetles that eat them from the inside. And in some ways, anxiety and worries are like that. If you let the bugs eat you from the inside, then your tree, your life, I guess, could collapse. I think that's what it was trying to say. I very much do, if I was a tree, have a lot of bugs. I do have a lot of bugs. And hopefully one day I can get rid of those, but I don't know. Seems like a big ask. Progress on the snowman. I think the head is kind of weird too. What do you guys think? It's round. It's round. Okay, now let's do the face here. So for the face, I kind of want it to be looking like up, like this way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pretend the eyes are here, and I'm gonna put the nose like maybe there, and then we're gonna do maybe a smiley face like that. Does that look okay? That looks really creepy. I don't know if you can see that. We're gonna try to do this. We're gonna try to do this without hurting myself. I am dragging the wood along the blade. I am not cutting with the blade. Very important distinction. Okay, you guys give it to me straight. Is this video garbage or what? As I'm filming it, feel like it is. You can be honest with me. We are in a period of experimentation. It's okay. I just wanted to make a video to make a video. This is not the most structured video I've ever made. But you know, if you're listening to this in the background, hopefully I'm not too annoying over here. Okay, so face like that, and then let's put the nose about there. Okay, it's Dremel time. Ow! Oh my god. Safety first! There we go. Looks like a narwhal. I have to cut that, but not bad. That nose is diabolical. That's a little too pointy, but I think once it dries I can kind of fix it a little bit more. But yeah, that's basically the snowman. Let's free him from his cell. Ooh. So I know this video was probably super haphazard and super disorganized, but I wanted to try it. I think it's my fault for wanting to do this all in one take. I probably should have thought about like the production of it all, but we'll see. You gotta let yourself do one video that probably was a little too ambitious and then see if it's gonna work, you know? Is it gonna be the best thing out there? Probably not, but I had fun. And I hope you had fun. And I know that the snowman, now that I have given him life, had some fun as well. So thanks for hanging out with me and for carving with me. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye.